if they have more children. You know, the more kids they have, the more income they have from the government. It's ridiculous, you know. I mean, I dare say the only reason they stop at a certain number of kids is that I dare say there's only a certain amount of screaming kids that an uneducated, ignorant, and greedy woman can deal with. But that's an aside. But in an RBE, people will be educated in such a way that they will think about procreation in terms of what the planet can cope with. This is called considering the carrying capacity of the planet. As such, there will be no reinforcement for creating an excessively large family. For one thing, it just means more hassle of organisation. You know, I mean, just look at the the stress levels of parents who have huge families. You know, it's ridiculous. You know, when people have children, normally it's this traditional thing where people think to themselves, you know what, I want to get married and have a family. Well, guess what? The planet can't sustain us all if we do that. End of story. Alright? We need to really think about our lives and our values and think about what relation they have to how we survive. I know it's known in the risk assessment field that there's a certain formula that dictates exactly the kind of life and family you must have in order to have the longest life possible. But guess what? For one thing, that formula is set within the stress-infested waters of the monetary system. And second, those statistics come from the comfort brought forth from conforming with traditionalized values and just falling in line with the rest of society and what's expected of you, you know, through traditionalized values. You know, the real issue about longevity and how to extend it is to just have less stress. The more and more contentment and more creativity and just more satisfaction. Now, the reason the risk assessment model is held true is that people attain this by falling in line because they know nothing different, therefore they feel less stressed. But how about all those who can't conceive children, so they can't they can't have a family? How about those who have disabilities or lack an education, so they can't get a decent job? This reveals how elitist this idea of traditional family values really is, and how irrelevant it is to life on this planet as a whole. We need to take everything into consideration and stop being so damn selfish. We need to think when we think about having a child, we need to think about what impact this is going to have, not just for the planet, but also for the carrying capacity of your own household. When you have a certain income, a certain number of rooms, and therefore a fixed and non-negotiable limit to how many lives your household can comfortably sustain, do you have more kids than you can support? Now think about that from a planetary perspective. While the single mum living on a council estate can request government handouts to pay for her wanton reproductive habits, who's going to bail the planet out? It's a good thing to think about. Okay, this will have to be the last question here. Question 12. What can I do to contribute towards this direction? Now, there are many, many things you can do to help. Firstly, the fundamental realization is that you are not separate from nature or any of its components. Nature is an emergent and holistic system where everything is interconnected and ever-changing. When you cross this threshold, you will come to understand that there is no such thing as static knowledge or information, and you must change with it in order to take the change along with you. The first change that must occur is within yourself. You must be the change in order to seek the change in your environment. And what I mean by that is to really consider yourself as one with nature. Now, obviously, when I say this, I don't mean, go off and live in the woods and shed all your clothes and hunt for your food. No, it's a gestural statement. It's a spiritual awakening that enables you to consider every human being not only as yourself, but also as a member of your family, but also not just for every human being, but also consider yourself as one with every other living creature on this planet. Now, this will help to enable you to treat other people better. Like, say for example, when you consider every human being not only as yourself, but also as a member of your family, you know, it becomes a given that we all came from the same place, really, and we all need the same things to survive. You know, the moment you realise that, a whole new world of possibility and enlightenment will come to you, and you will immediately start treating your fellow man with the compassion and forgiveness that you would treat a member of your normal family. You know, secondly, learn to love and love to learn. This is critical to inspiring others to do what you are doing when you delve into your own research about the world in which we live and recognizing its flaws and its beauties. When you consider yourself as an eager recipient of knowledge, you will take things as nothing more, nothing less than just pure information, and you will realize that bias and belief are nothing but straitjackets to our development. When you take things as just information, you will not get offended anymore by encountering a piece of information that may or may not conflict with the beliefs and understandings you already have. Who we consider ourselves to be are nothing more than just temporal stances of being that have to change in order to progress, because we live in this emergent world where static notions actually hold us back. So delve into research, understand what the Venus Project, and hence what the Zeitgeist Movement advocates, and become your own teacher and pupil. There are no leaders in this movement. We are all our own leaders. We are encouraged to guide our own routes of enlightenment and awareness. You know, to be proven wrong is not a signal of failure or inferiority. Instead, it is a signal of being elevated to a higher level of understanding. When you can when you can get into the habit of saying to both yourself and to other people, "Oh, do you know what? I didn't know that." You know, it facilitates a greater capacity to learn. Seek new ways of engaging in society in order to yield positive results and contribute towards society as a whole, because when you do that, you also benefit. Now, there are certain things you can do economically to help promote your own independence, like getting off the grid, boycotting the military and the banking institutions. However, these are financial hurdles we can't all tackle. So it's just a matter of doing what you can whenever you can. The principle is simple. Stop supporting the system. That is the idea at the base level. Excuse me. If you haven't yet watched Zeitgeist Addendum, which by the way is free to watch on Google Videos or Vimeo, very much like the vast majority of our media, or YouTube, it's on YouTube as well, it would be hugely beneficial for you to do so. In fact, speaking of addendum, the film gives a list of things you can do. It's called Actions for Social Transformation, and they are as follows. Quote, 1. Expose the banking fraud. Citibank, JP Morgan Chase, and Bank of America are the most powerful controllers within the corrupt Federal Reserve System. It's time to boycott these institutions. If you have a bank account or credit card with any of them, move your money to another bank. If you have a mortgage, refinance with another bank. If you own their stock, sell it. If you work for them, quit. This gesture will express contempt for the true powers behind the private banking cartel known as the Federal Reserve, and create awareness about the fraud of the banking system itself. 2. Turn off the TV news. Visit the emerging independent news agencies on the internet for your information. CNN, NBC, ABC, Fox, and all the others present all news pre-filtered to maintain the status quo. With 4 corporations owning all major media outlets, objective information is impossible. This is the true beauty of the internet, and the establishment has been losing control because of this free flow of information. We must protect the internet at all times, as it is truly our savior right now. 3. Don't ever allow yourself, your family, or anyone you know to ever join the military. This is an obsolete institution now used exclusively for maintaining an establishment that is no longer relevant. US soldiers in Iraq work for US corporations, not the people. Propaganda forces us to believe that war is natural and the military is an honorable institution. Well, if war is natural, why are there 18 suicides every single day by American veterans who have post-traumatic stress disorder? If our military men and women are so honored, why is it that 25% of the American homeless population are veterans? 4. Stop supporting the energy companies. If you live in a detached house, get off the grid. Investigate every means of making your home self-sustainable with clean energy. Solar, wind, and other renewable energies are now affordable consumer realities, and considering the never-ending rising cost of traditional energies, it will likely be a cheaper investment over time. If you drive, get the smallest car you can and consider using one of the many conversion technologies that can enable your car to be a hybrid, electric, or run on anything other than establishment fuels. 5. Reject the political system. The illusion of democracy is an insult to our intelligence. In a monetary system, there is no such thing as a true democracy, and there never was. We have 2 political parties owned by the same set of corporate lobbyists. They are placed into their positions by the corporations, with popularity artificially projected by their media. In a system of inherent corruption, the change of personnel every couple of years has very little relevance. Instead of pretending that the political game has any true meaning, focus your energy on how to transcend this failed system. And 6. Join the movement. Go to the zeitgeistmovement.com and help us create the largest mass movement for social change the world has ever seen. We must mobilize and educate everyone about the inherent corruption of our current world system, along with the only true sustainable solution, declaring all the natural resources on the planet as common heritage to all people, while informing everyone as to the true state of technology and how we can all be free if the world works together rather than fights. The choice lies with you. End quote. Now, there is a whole world out there that needs to be educated, okay? So educate yourself and spread the word. But anyway, I'm coming to the end of my broadcast now. I will play my outro music in just a second. I will be back. I'll be back when I can to do my next show, which will probably be entitled something along the lines of debunking or dispelling myths about the movement. But anyway, you guys take care, and I'll speak to you very soon.